30 terrifying broad daylight encounters, according to Reddit. Number 30. I was in a local swimming pool, and a friend mentioned how he thought I could fit into the storage locker. I jumped in, and he locked it behind me. I learned a few things that day. 1. I can indeed fit into a storage locker. 2. This person was not my friend. 3. Strangers won't help you. If your friend says you are fine, even if you're crying for help. And 4. Putting the vents at the bottom of a locker is real dumb. That's so unfortunate. You know, broad daylight, that other people will just be like, man, I don't see a damn thing. Number 29. As I, female, about 30 at the time, was walking home from work along West Broadway in Lower Manhattan, a man grabbed me. I was on my last nerve that day, so instead of being scared or submitting, I went full Rambo on him, yelling and smacking him with my purse. I was taking no shit from anyone that day, and he turned and ran. Well, good for him. 28.
Wait, no, her. That's a lady who beat him with a purse.
Yeah. Female and about 30 at the time. Number 28. Seeing a guy who raped me stocking the shelves at Walmart. I walked into an aisle and there he was. This feeling of dread washed over me. This guy looked familiar, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Then it hit me. I knew and I froze. It had been 7 years, and he looked so different now. Next thing I remember is sitting in my car, shaking and trying to get the keys into the ignition. Edit. I would like to say thank you to all the people who have had such kind words to say, and to the people with similar stories. I'm sorry. I know that it's hell. People keep asking why I didn't report him. I wanted to, but when I sought support from some of my friends, I received nothing of the sort. Instead, I was told that it was my fault. I went to his house willingly, so I had to have known that he wanted sex. One friend even made a comment about him being cute. These were my best friends. If they didn't support me, how could I depend on strangers? I rationalized in my head somehow that he wanted me that bad. When I hear stories of people getting attacked and raped while walking home, I feel like my rape was so mild compared to that. I know that it's an unhealthy thought process, but I still don't want to believe that it happened to me. I stopped thinking about it until I saw him that day. Well, people rationalize a lot of shit, I guess, but rape is still rape. Somebody says the same thing happened to me. Was crossing at some traffic lights. It was one of those where, you cross to the middle and had to wait for the crossing to the other side of the street. Anyway, as I reached the middle, I looked up and seen this guy who was just staring at me, and I realized it was him. He didn't know who I was, but he kept looking at me. I recognized the girl from somewhere before. I stopped making eye contact and carried over to the other side ASAP. The kicker was, when I told my friends, their response was, "This happened 5 years ago? You should just get over it." Wow. Man, people got some great friends. Number 27. Is it? 30, 20, 27. You did it, Kyle. You were so right. You were so right. Oh my God. Oh my God. You think somebody's like listening to this in broad daylight and they're terrified by me? I'll fucking kill you. I was 18 or 19, I don't know, and picking up a prescription at the pharmacy. While I was waiting in line, a man who I guess was waiting in line as well started taking pictures of my feet with his cell phone. He wasn't even trying to be subtle, just kind of bent over, aimed his phone at my feet, and I moved a few feet away, and he just followed me. The pharmacist saw the whole thing and mouthed, "Do you know him?" I shook my head with my eyes wide, grabbed my prescription, and bolted away from the counter. I hid in the store until I saw him leave and drive off because I was afraid he might follow me. Maybe not terrifying, but definitely unnerving and creepy. Still creeps me out to this day. somebody says, "No, that's definitely not okay," I always want to say if I were in that situation, I'd vocalize it so everyone would hear. Stop taking pictures of my feet. I don't know you. That's my purse. No, funny, it's not funny. But I know if it actually happened, I'd probably freak out and run away. Poor people.
Do you think that the camera was close enough to her feet where she could have kicked it?
No, but I want to say 29, 28, 27. I want to say if a woman is in a position like that, I feel like it should be within the realm of something that's okay to smack a phone the fuck out of somebody's hand. They doing some shit like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like especially when she when it was made apparent that the pharmacist actually saw the whole thing going down. And if this is happening in the store, there's cameras, nigga. You know what I mean? She would back her for real. So, like, if somebody is invading your personal space, taking pictures that it's clearly, like, gross or creepy, you're not going to take a picture of somebody's feet, like, oh, I like those shoes. Like, how are you going to explain that? You know what I mean? He had a fetish and it was gross, and he was actualizing that fetish. Realizing, I should say.
I mean, if he was trying to take pictures of her skirt, then it'd be a big deal. But because it's his feet, because it's her feet, it's not really that different. At least not to me.
Just making my point, Stripes. Number 26, wait a minute.
26, it's 26.
That's what I said. Happened yesterday. I wasn't particularly terrified, but a bit uneasy. I go grocery shopping at the same store at the same time, maybe twice a week. There works a grocery bagger, and once before, he was waited by my car to help me put groceries in my trunk. There works a grocery bagger, and once before he was waited by my car, waiting by my car. I wonder if that's, proper. Like, if that works. Do you think that works?
Waited? No, I don't think that works.
He was waited by my car. No, I mean, it may work. Not in anything that I'm familiar with, but maybe it could be correct.
Maybe it's a dialect thing.
Once he was waited by my car. Or maybe it's just how they speak somewhere else. Who cares? To put groceries in my trunk. It threw me off and made me uncomfortable. I get anxiety in social situations, but figured he was just being polite and doing his job. I'm a really shy person, and my instinct is to be polite no matter how uncomfortable I am. Plus, and I don't mean this in a rude way, from our first encounter, I get the sense that he's not all there in the head. So yesterday, I went straight from the store to my car, opened the trunk, and I promptly started putting groceries in. Don't do this, Kale. Sorry, the story's killing me. Out of nowhere, this guy appears. Here we go. And we engage in polite chit-chat. He asks how I am doing, and I reply, but make mistakes of asking how he is. There he goes off on a rant of how his whole year has been awful. Jesus Christ. How he dreams of killing his dog. Or this dog. Not sure if it was his dog or another. He lost me in the rant. And also how watching people hang is entertaining. People watching. Dog killing and people watching. This is like you say on your first conversation with somebody. He's getting a pretty passionate in this rant and is escalating to how it's hypocritical of how the justice system treats murderers and rapists, and how it's allowed for Americans to do so in other countries when fighting a war. So that it's relevant to the question, it's broad daylight and there are several people in the parking lot. I'm an idiot, so I'm just standing there politely, and unfortunately he's standing near the driver's side of my car. Eventually, after a near 15-minute rant of murder, hanging and chopping heads, I wiggle past him and tell him to take it easy, and I'll probably just find another supermarket. You damn right. That is the way to handle that situation. What a creepy ass motherfucker. Report it to the store manager, the police, and anyone you can think of. Just stay away, baby. You don't want to be caught up on the day that he snaps and chops up the people in the grocery store. What's up?
Maybe it's not my place to have some kind of analysis on this man, because that I know nothing about. But I feel he wouldn't. You're not so scared of a massacre so much as him, like, taking people home. Seems more
He knows your face, Stripes.
Doesn't know my face.
That's the bottom. In the context of the story, if you're suggesting that this woman take action, that dude knows her face. We live in a country where you could rape a bitch in broad daylight. No joke. Probably get like 15, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what? Nothing. You rape what? Your skin color? Maybe if you're a black man and you try to rape somebody, you're going to jail, nigger. And we're gonna crucify your ass. We're bringing it back. Guillotine crucifixion is one neat contraption that we have made. We got a YouTube video and a Kickstarter. If you guys are interested in the guillotine crucifix, you know we got the cross made of only the cheapest wood. That's a pretty good one, Kyle. Only the cheapest wood. But if you're a white man, then you know maybe maybe a pedicure, manicure.
But if it's a guillotine too, would it like slice you in half?
Get you your master's degree while you're in jail as well. So when you get out, you got something. I'm kidding. Am I kidding? Man, the law's a mess in America. Number 25. I'm a 20-something lady. Damn, she's fine. Who's that lady? I really have a nice image of this woman in my head. Is that creepy or terrifying?
I bet she's got nothing going on.
Somebody's listening to this in broad daylight going, who is this man? Who is this man reading this? I'm a 20-something. Yeah.
20-something, you say?
Shut up. I was heading home from the gym tired, dressed elegantly, on my way from work. Heading home from the gym and dressed elegantly?
Why? You're coming home from the gym.
Nigga, let's not talk about it. All along a large, well-lit street, about a block from my house, a man first tried to catch my attention, and then to grab me and pull me towards the bushes on one side of the sidewalk, having already partly removed his pants. I screamed bloody murder and ran home. After calling the police and describing the attacker, they asked what I was wearing. Oh my God. What? Oh shit, the police. Oh my God, that's terrible. Where do you live? Where do you live? You provoked it, baby. I'm that. Could you imagine that you just pick up 911? It was the emergency. And she's like, I was attacked by a man. He tried to fuck me, had his pants all the way down. But you were looking hot and deserved it, all right? I was that guy. And I actually, come down here. It wasn't me. Just come down here. Wear what you were wearing just now. Please. What are you wearing? What? I was going to get mad, but it turned out he matched the description of a local pedophile suspected that preys on young girls from the nearby school. I was wearing a rather girly navy blue skirt with a white shirt that day.
Okay.
He was never arrested.
So, I guess
Here's a comment from a man.
Assaulting.
As a man reading this thread, it's dawning on me how many women deal with the fear of sexual assault as a real possibility. I guess I always knew it, but it makes me really sad that I'm sure that the many wonderful women in my life probably feel the exact same way. Sad day for us men as well. Not sure why the guy was never arrested. I swear that's only the only way I'd end up in prison, going vigilante on someone if they hurt someone I loved. Hope you find healing and peace. Hey Stripes, you fear sexual assault?
No, I'm not afraid of being raped.
Well, in your face, other ladies. So number 24 here.
But then again, I don't go anywhere, so there's that.
Man, somebody could bust up into the house in the night like some kind of rape man.
But I've got you.
Like the rape Batman.
I've got you
While you're here, you have me. And I'm a pretty Nah, I was gonna say I'm a heavy sleeper, but if anybody tried busting up in here, they'd be dead before they hit the ground.
You mean a heavy sleeper?
Well, I guess you're right. I could probably fart and wake myself up. Is that terrifying, Stripes? Let's continue with this damn list.
All you did was bump against the wall. You woke up and flinched.
Shut up.
It was a snake dream.
No, that had nothing to do with you. I keep saying I had a dream with snakes. I didn't flinch because of the snakes and the dream. I flinched as I was jarring myself out of this disgusting
Well, then
slithering all over my body dream.
I suppose it was just weirdly timed then.
You know, I'm so tired of you just misunderstanding the world as it appears around you. What if you're like not even from this dimension? Number 24.
Count yourself lucky then.
Counting myself. Oh my fucking god. What does that even mean? When I was 24. When I was 24. When nigga, number 24. When I was really young, a guy stopped me when I was leaving school and asked if I liked PlayStation and Nintendo. I told him I did. And then I really like Final Fantasy, and he said, "Ooh, what a coincidence. I have that for the TV in my van. Wanna come play?" I told him I had to ask my mom first, and to stay here. I ran home, called to my mom to ask, and she told me to lock the door, get in the basement, and don't open the door for anyone. She explained what was happening to me when she got home, and once I knew, I was pretty freaked out. You better get in my van.
You know, a guy actually offered me candy in his van while I was at the flea market.
Where? When was this?
I was like 7 years old.
Oh my fucking god.
I ran away.
Do you think he would have taken you to Mexico and tried to, like, turn you into the slave
I
trade?
would have been trafficked. I think I would have been trafficked, but I ran. I've already heard those stories by that point.
Oh my fucking god. I love your mom, your hot mom, because she probably equipped her little daughters with the information. Blah. And if you hear this person, you better fucking run. Like shit, can you imagine telling like your little kids, listen, you see anybody and they ain't me? Okay? If you see anybody and they ain't me, you don't want to hear any of this shit they're gonna say. Like this is a monster. You know what I do?
What?
I take out pictures of like generic looking like human beings, just like men and women, and be like, you see these people? These are monsters, okay? And they're capable of some scary shit. Don't let them fool you with their little acts in public. Oh my god.
I feel like that might turn them into an introvert later in life. I think that's for the best.
Nigga, who cares? Introverts, like, man, I'm so tired of these sick ass corny categorical terms for people that, you know, are different from the social fucking fake ass niggas that people are being. You think Instagram is cool? You think Facebook is relevant, nigga? You living your life and going to Starbucks and wear your leggings and your Ugg boots because you're representing something. You know, the cars you buy and the shoes you wear, they're all just status symbols so that other people can look at you and think that you're, you know, relevant, but you ain't, nigga. You ain't got fucking interest. You're not special. Oh my god. You know what I mean? I'm just so done. Somebody just walk up to you and say 2 sentences and you're just like, damn, this is exactly the type of basic, typical nigga that I would want to have nothing to do with. And that's the real terrifying thing. The most terrifying thing about shit that goes on around you on a daily basis is that everyone is acting, all right, as if they're in the star in their own personal movie where they have to somehow come across as a human being, right? So that you don't suspect that they've got their lives going on. Everything that I'm going to read for you in this corny ass post is something that somebody that you know, if not multiple people that you know, aren't just capable of, but probably have done, are doing, and will do in the course of their corny ass, and I say this with you know, the little bunny quotes, lives that they're living. Number 24.
I think the takeaway of that for me is that you can wear tights and Ugg boots at the same time.
Leggings. If you're a sexy lady and you're listening to this list, you know, and you have pictures of you in leggings, we're talking to you, Jesse Green. You want to send them to Kyle, you know, I'd appreciate that. My information is in the description below. Is this guy even kidding? Is what people are listening to this in broad daylight thinking. What terror. Number 24 was actually just read by me. Huh, you thought I tripped myself up, didn't you? Didn't you, listener? Number 23. I'm a little late to this party, but here goes. Ah, here goes. Here come the man in black. I'm kidding. That's actually the opening to All That, which you wouldn't know anything about.
Of
Because
course I do.
I was on a 300-mile ride on my motorcycle.
How old do you think I am?
And when I stopped for gas at a sketchy gas station, while I am stopped, this homeless guy in a puffy ratty fur jacket and a Flavor Flav style Viking hat rides up on his bicycle with a milk crate for a basket and a homemade trailer. He rings his bell on his handlebar and tells me I have a nice bike as I'm walking in to pay. Thanks, you too, bud. And he charges at me on foot and pushes me from behind hard and says, no, man, I said you have a nice bike. I'm freaking out now because this dude looks high as hell and on something hard. And though I'm not a small dude, I've heard that drugs make you fight hella crazy. What the fuck are the police doing outside? You hear all that?
I guess they...
He was making legit noise like, hey, look, I'm the police. Look, come on, get out of the way. Fucking. So I pushed this guy to the ground and yell for him to back the fuck up. And he gets up, adjusts his hat, and says, this is what you wear when you want to sing Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. Then he runs to his bike like a madman and rides off. Most terrifying and hilarious thing to ever happen to me. I mean, yeah, it's funny. It's funny, like, in retrospect, but if some shit like this happened to you, you ever, like, if you got pushed from behind, you get what I'm saying? Like, somebody was trying to forcefully push you forward to knock you down, you would shift into another mode. You feel me, Strays?
I'm just trying to imagine what his trailer looked like.
You know, the scariest thing about me is that when I've entered into I want to say defending my life tier is what I'll call that. I can't hear shit. Did you know that?
I've never been in a fight.
Yeah, I can't hear shit. I see people's mouths moving, nigga. It's like, I'm not hearing you. I am not hearing anything. That's the sense that goes, unfortunately. Like, and that's terrible because, naturally, having my wits about me and my senses, go into overdrive would be necessary. But, man, whatever. Number 23. This is a long one. Look at this hefty ass shit. I was standing on a bus in London's morning rush.
Wait, what number did you say this was?
22?
I don't feel like it is.
I feel like you a gay nigga.
What does that make you?
What did Queen call me? Queen called me Pimp Daddy. That's what I am. Number 22. I was standing on a bus during London's morning rush. It was an absolute crush. Nowhere to move. What? I was standing on a bus in London's morning rush. It was an absolute crush. So who's writing this shit? I don't know whether to believe any of this crap is a joke. Like, I want this list to be for real all the time. Nowhere to move. I felt a boner press into the back of me. So I shouted for the driver to stop the bus. He promptly ignored me. I had absolutely nowhere to go. I was trapped, and then this man reached under my skirt and tried to stick his fingers up my vagina. So I kept shouting what was happening. Nobody on the bus did anything. The driver wouldn't stop. So I struggled with this man who by that time was holding me by my crotch and licking me. So the next stop, Warren Street, the doors open and I ran. This man chased me until he caught me, put me in a bear hug, and kept telling me he was going to rape me. And then and there in broad daylight, I threatened to stab him in the eye with my keys in my hand and pressing into his eye, and he backed off. I kept shouting for people to call the police. I didn't have a mobile at the time. That's where you fucked up, you dumb hoe. These freaking chicks going out into the public without the phone. I mean, sometimes you're not even going to have an opportunity to use the phone. But as crazy as it sounds, ladies, if you're on a bus and some nigga is like touching you and getting nuts, your phone is your best weapon. Because we live in a world where, and take it from me, like I wouldn't say that I hate women, but I hate women's capacity to lie because they get so emotional in ways that unfortunately I guess aren't their fault because they're so hormonal genetically. But nigga, like, our only weapon against you half the time is just to fucking record something, because when it's our word against yours, the police or the law is going to always take the side of the female because y'all are bitches. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all are frail little weak pieces of shit. I'm kidding. But in a situation where you're on a crowded bus in daylight, all you have is that as a weapon. Because unfortunately, some people may not even back you up. So what she should have done, as scared and weirded out as she was by a nigga grabbing her crotch and licking him, is angle that phone up You know what I mean? Like, bring that phone up over her like she's taking a selfie, angle it down, and try to get this shit on tape, because then all he can do is try to destroy the evidence right there. The thing is, when she jumped off that bus and ran, if nobody on the bus was going to help her, running off the bus knowing that he was going to chase her was probably the bad call. So, you know, her having her phone, being able to record some evidence, probably get it to like violence, because I mean, like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I also don't know what year this was, to be honest.
Doesn't matter. I mean, this is something that people are going to listen to now. We're trying to prevent it in the future.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying like this is what she should have done. You know what I mean? Situations don't play out the way that people can forecast. So I'm not saying that this will even work in every scenario. I'm saying that sometimes all you're going to have to prove that this even happened, because there's a reason why, you know, a lot of girls don't report shit like this or feel like they have nowhere to go when things like this happen, because it's going to be about credibility and whether or not you're to be believed and who's called into question. What did the guy look like? You know what I mean? And in the heat of the moment, a lot of the shit, you know, isn't just like logical, you know, that's men logic, but women, like, dude, they're gonna get emotional and freak the fuck out. Who's this nigga and why is he touching me, getting his fucking cock against me in public and reaching his shit up my skirt and all this crap, licking me and all kind of crap? You're not thinking like the course of action now is to take out my phone and get video evidence of this crap. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god. But at the same time, so I ran to work. The police thankfully took me very seriously. Thankfully for real, because the police don't typically do this type of shit. They typically laugh your ass out of the station, much like the scene where Marge Simpson wants to become a police officer.
They give her a badge anyway.
I mean, yeah, but it's still funny. They said that the CCTV systems on the bus weren't working at the time. What a surprise. So it would be difficult to identify my assailant. What a surprise. A week later, the same bus was bombed in 7/7. I wasn't on it because I was terrified that some man would do this to me again.
I think they mean same. Did they mean same or some?
That's some man. She probably meant some man. I apologize. That certainly isn't to say that I wouldn't have been on the exact bus at the same time if it was blown up, but I also know the CCTV wasn't working, making it harder for the police to identify the bomber. It was the absolute helplessness I felt, whereby every person around me watched, but did nothing. Hundreds of people, passers-by, the bus driver, my fellow passengers on the bus, all pretended that it wasn't happening. The terror of what happened in that instant didn't stick around, thankfully, but the mistrust of the bystander effect keeps me on guard 11 years later. This is what you all need to be frightfully aware of if you're listening to this video. That's the true terror. I don't give a fuck about this list and how much you consider it, or I should say how little you consider it terrifying. This is the real world that you're living in. And in the real world, shit like the bystander effect does exist. Something goes down, doesn't matter whether or not you're in broad daylight, baby. A white knight or a police officer may not just show up to take care of your fucking problems all the time for your ass. So you need to defend yourself, because if you don't, then in most situations, nobody will. A responder says, when I lived in the city, I carried a big, long sewing pin stick into the chest strap of my commuter bag, Kyle. In the 4 years I took the bus, 3 times I was near to an assailant. That when a woman shouted out what he was doing, I drove the pin all the way into the nearest body part I could reach. This probably wasn't a safe or smart thing to do. Every single time the guy jumped, shrieked, and couldn't figure out what was going on in the time to do anything about it. By the time he found the pin, both the victim and me were gone. I read about this in A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Francie got groped on the train on the first day of real work in the city, and she's like 15, and her aunt suggests next time that she stab him in the hand with her hat pin. Interesting. Look, there are plenty of forms of defense if you think about it. Human beings are pretty weak as far as carbon-based life forms are considered. You know, they're just so squishy. So squishy. It takes like no tension to send that fucking nose right up into the brain. But 21 maybe? In Rio, I was robbed at gunpoint on a crowded street in broad daylight. The guy just put the gun to my back and walked up to me and said, "Give me your money or your life." And my heart hasn't beat faster. Why do I feel like I've seen somebody say he edited it to say he wasn't robbed at Fun Point? And that's why the like commas are here. Son of a bitch.
Why does that upset you so much?
Because I recognize this. I haven't read this before, have I?
Well, maybe it's just...
I was robbed at not robbed at Fun Point.
I feel like it's been another mistake, but not the same mistake.
You feel like this mistake has happened in another post, but
yes.
that this isn't the same post.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find out, and it's going to be scary if we've done this before. The hospital called 911 because my mom had a seizure. I didn't skip shit. This is like some kind of edit bullshit.
Okay.
Somebody he says he gave up the money without a fuss. That's the end of that. The hospital called 911 because my mom had a seizure. At the hospital in a ridiculous bright light, and the doctor comes in and says that they found a brain tumor. Texted my sister immediately, and then moments later I could hear her sobbing in the waiting area from where I was. The beginning of the end. That sucks. Number 19. Recently went to Dolphin Cove to take care of my number one bucket list item, swim with the sharks. Oh shit.
I don't understand
I remember this. I went with my best friend. Her and I are in our 40s and cute enough on our own right. You know what I mean? Our shark trainer flirted with us, but we thought nothing of it. Once we were in the water, we had to sit on a bench and he maneuvered the shark on our lap.
Okay, I remember that.
Part of the program was the trainer guiding our hands to feel the shark. He put both our hands on his very erect penis. We again kind of blew it off, thinking it was an accident. Then he told us to spread our legs so we could hold and balance the shark on our legs. He slid his hand up our thighs and got his fingers under both our bottoms before we stopped him. We both felt violated, and it ruined my very top bucket list item experience for me. It horrifies and frightens me to think of how often he's done that with other women and possibly kids. Ugh. They reported him. We've done this one before.
Yeah, but I don't think we've done the same list. I don't remember any of the other ones.
Yeah,
like
the reason you don't remember them is that because I probably, started lower in the list than I did before. Okay. What if I started at 20 before?
Maybe.
And now since I've started at 30, there were 10 that you don't recognize.
Well, should we look it up on your channel?
What would it be called?
If it's the same list, then it would be called this, right? Or do you think you shortened it for the thumbnail?
Nigga, what would it be called?
Daylight.
Kyle, what if I talk in? Oh my god, this is nuts. I've done it before. This is madness. Scary, maybe. I don't fucking know.
I didn't see the thumbnail from last night's stream. That's pretty good.
Look at how big the fucking, I don't know, 10 creepy seclusion stories. What's really going on here? Look at these thumbnails for these videos. Look at these thumbnails. We'll never find it, man. I don't know. Would I say broad daylight?
That doesn't seem like something you'd say. Or that'd fit in the thumbnail.
Oh no. 20 terrifying broad daylight encounters.
Well, there you go.
According to Reddit. Oh my god. Number 20. In Rio, I was robbed at gunpoint. Well, nigga, look, guys, I'm just... I should just finish it. They're not gonna listen to it again. This would be nuts. It would be nuts for me to make them listen to it again. It would be nuts. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is just link this fucking... Oh my god. I am so weirdly feeling like I should continue this, even though it's already... Let's do something else.
Okay.
Let's do something else and not end the video.
Wait, what were all those games that you have?
You talking about?
I see like gifts coming up on the right.
No, we're not talking about games. Stripes.
I know that, but...
This girl used to pay me. Okay, no, fuck that. What's that? 16. Oh my god, I read this already. Can you believe that?
Can't we just look at a gift thread?
Look, I'm putting a link right here to the remainder of the things in this very list. So I apologize.
Wait, why don't you just link to the other video?
Everything up until now has been actually... ow. Let's look at this other bullshit. It says terrifying facts that the average person does not know. This ought to lick my ass. Human beings are scary. We breathe a corrosive gas, drink one of the most potent solvents. Our preferred method of hunting was persistence hunting, where we chased animals until their bodies simply gave up and died. We can eat just about anything we find, which means that we don't need to stop for food when chasing our prey. If we can't find food, that's fine. Our body will simply begin to eat itself so that we don't have to stop chasing our prey. We walk upright, we sweat, we don't have much body hair, which allows us to radiate away our body heat. This means that excessive time or extreme environments won't stop our hunts. If the animals fight back against us, we can take massive damage to our extremities and lose half our blood and still lose. Our entire existence is owed to persistence, endurance, and determination. When we put ourselves to a task, it gets done, period. And the instinct is still affecting us today. In 332 BC, Alexander the Great hits a stalemate with the fortified island city of Tyre. Maybe Tyre. Instead of going back defeated, he builds a kilometer-long bridge in order to raise the city. 49 BC, Caesar, after defeating the Gauls and invading Britain, turns a political fight into a civil war by invading Italy with only a single legion. He eventually becomes dictator, starting a world superpower whose engineering feats are only recently being broken. 1804 AD, a charismatic French general declares himself emperor and sets off to conquer much of mainland Europe. He is captured, exiled, and escapes. The soldiers sent to recapture him instead lay down their arms and join him. 1961 AD, one man decides that he will go to the moon, despite much of the technology to do so not even existing yet. Just 8 years later, two humans stand on the surface of the moon and look back upon Earth. 200 years ago, we didn't have railroads. 100 years ago, we didn't have airplanes. 50 years ago, we didn't know space flight. 25 years ago, we didn't have the internet. We've already inherited the Earth, and soon we will inherit the stars. And anyone or anything that stands in our way will be eliminated, one way or another. And I'm just sitting here masturbating. Anything, that anything. Fucking.
What a nice thought.
It's a nice thought that we couldn't just be obliterated, you know.
We can. Life can end.
We could knock the fuck out of the sky. Are you kidding me? Whatever dumbass humans exist, unless they get down on their knees and start sucking that extraterrestrial cock, you know what I mean? We ain't get nowhere.
What do you
Here's
think
another
it
one.
looks like?
You would turn it into extraterrestrial genitalia. This is supposed to be creeping people out. Shrines.
Look. Put a pin in that. I'm getting uncomfortably warm, and that just means that you're burning up.
And get away from me. Alright? Oh my god. Stripes is like climbing onto me because the mic we have to share now. After Stripes is, I let her touch another microphone. You remember how that went, Stripes? Don't give me that look. You're so stupid. Listen, anything under what? Your hair is everywhere, dude. Your hair is everywhere. In 2012, scientists found 1,458 new species of bacteria living in the belly button. Everyone's belly button ecology is unique like a fingerprint. And one volunteer's belly button harbored bacteria that had previously been found only in soil from Japan, where he had never been. That's a very interesting fact. But I feel like I'm just boring you now with my, Star Trek kind of oh, that's pretty cool. Fellow. Your body is of Kyle. Fellow Aussies, 2 out of 3 of us will be diagnosed with skin cancer by the time we're 70. Shit, what the fuck? 2 out of 3? That's a terrifying statistic. The NSA estimates that there are approximately 330 million potential terrorists in the United States at any given time. Cool. I think that means you, Ripes.
I haven't heard anyone.
Yet. So if you were to be like a terrorist, what would your act of terror be?
I don't want to be a Morgan.
A gamma ray burst could kill us in a matter of seconds without warning.
That's what I mean. It gets felt off in just moments.
I don't even know what a gamma ray burst is.
I think it's kind of like a solar burst. Except more intense.
I think the guy was even wrong. This is a whack list. Still can't believe we read that one before.
Weren't you reading from the top anyways?
Hey, wait. Actually, this one looks like a different one. It says, what's the last time you were truly afraid, like a child in a dark room? So here's the top one here.
I think we should stop and save this for a real list because it's really
Fuck no, because none of these these really bottom out very quickly. Like within 10, they bottom out.
Yeah, I get you.
So I'm gonna read from the 10 up. When some girl tried to push me off a train platform as a joke, and I had a massive flight or fight response. People never say flight or fight, they say it the other way around. Who are these fucking people that are trying so hard to distinguish themselves from the rest of that really grinds my gears? This guy just rustled my jimmies. By not just saying it the fucking right way. Who are you? Oh no, I'm actually different, nigga. Okay, number 9. I watched The Conjuring and Insidious alone. Those movies are fucking baby tier fright fests. There's nothing horrible or actually scary about them. In the attic of a large empty house at night, of course. And to really top it off, during a thunderstorm. Not proud, I peed in a bottle that night because of the thought of walking down a dark, creaky hallway to reach the bathroom. What a fucking faggot. Number 8. Probably last year when me and this other dude got lost while we were hiking. You know, people voted this up. Teenagers. Anyway, me and this other dude got...
Beneath it too. Someone related. A lot of people related. Sorry.
And this other dude got lost while we were hiking, and we were stuck on this really steep hill. When it was getting dark and we heard something down in the bushes we thought might be a cougar, not comparable to a 6-inch needle, incurable disease, though. What? Did he just ruin another one for me that he read?
I thought this was gonna be how about
Is this a real thing that people upvoted? Like, I was walking somewhere and I thought that I was walking somewhere and I thought I heard a cougar. That's my story.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like when cougars make noise, it kind of sounds like a baby.
Probably a woman shrieking. Anyway, last night I was woken up by banging on my window at 4 a.m. I live in DC.
That's it. It is a woman shrieking.
It's not a super safe neighborhood. And my immediate thought was riots had spilled over from Baltimore or something. Nope. Just my drunk friend who happened to be in the area. This list is terrible.
Can I tell the fan, please?
Okay, look, we'll just do 2 more and then we're done. I was about 4 months pregnant. I woke up in the middle of the night covered from my crotch to my knees in bright red blood. I went to the bathroom and gushed blood and golf ball sized clots into the toilet. My God, this is what I'm talking about. I woke up my husband and told him that I had a miscarriage. It was 2 a.m. on Friday night, so we went to the ER. We went on, not because they could do anything to save the pregnancy, but because I knew if I continued to hemorrhage like that I would need a transfusion. I'm also Rh negative, so any bleeding in pregnancy means I have to have a shot. I had an ultrasound at the hospital that showed I was still pregnant. You think she lost another baby, maybe? Maybe, baby. I've never been so shocked or relieved. My daughter will be 3 this summer. And if I think about that night, I'll still tear up. Aww.
I'm trying to figure out what happened.
She said for the curious, the bleeding episode happened 1 more time. And then my doctor figured out that the second time, my cervix was bleeding. He applied silver nitrate. That sounds gangster, whatever it is. I'll just hit it with that silver nitrate. You think he applied it with an arrow? That was kind of like a conjuring spell from Skyrim.
No, I think he just put a little.
Speaking of Skyrim, people are pretending that game's like the newest, freshest game in the world because it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch. Oh my God, you mean I can play Skyrim anywhere? Skyrim, that game that came out 7 years ago. That sounds like a Pirates of the Caribbean, though.
Okay, wait. But she had a miscarriage, but she was also pregnant with another baby? Was it,
No. I made that part up about that bleeding and the giant clots must have been another baby coming out. Maybe she was still pregnant with the survivor baby. Baby survivor, goo 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 gaga. You don't know that song, do you?
I do. Can you ruin it for me?
Just think of a whole bunch of babies dancing, like Beyonce. I think this list is over. I flipped my 3-year-old onto my bed, playing around, and he couldn't breathe for 30 seconds. He was fine, just had the wind knocked out of him. But I'm actually tearing up just thinking about it because there was a split second where I thought I had killed him. Oh my gosh.
I thought this would be accompanied with a gif of the dad who saved his son from falling over the bed.
Oh man, I've done something similar with my son. He landed all weird on his head and neck and started screaming immediately. I've never hugged him so hard in my life as I did when I realized he was okay. The crazy thing is screaming, yelling is actually a good sign that they'll be okay. Parenting isn't easy. Well, yeah, I mean, I would imagine the top thing on the list of parenting is not killing your kid. Coming in at number 5. Don't scar this faggot for life. You'll fail. Even if it seems like they're not scarred, they're scarred. But hey, that's what you're scored for. Make it seem like your kid's not scarred for life. Number 4. Sorry. I gotta do some hacky lists like that. That's how I gotta deliver all my lists, man. Guys, I can't believe that I settled on a list that I found so appealing that it was actually a list I'd done before.
This was my greatest fear.
And this time I started deeper on the list because I wanted it to be longer, only to realize as I got halfway through that it's a list that I've actually done. So I'm going out of my way, as if posting a link is going out of my way, to include the link to the list that I've done before around where I stopped.
Do you remember when I stopped you? Because I thought this might have, previously, because I thought you were doing a list that we've done before.
And it's never been the case, Stripes?
Yeah.
Every time you've ever stopped me because you thought we were doing a list before, it's never been the case. And the one time that we were doing a list that I'd done before, I immediately realized it halfway through the first post. Isn't that weird? Because I can remember what I read. And that's something. Stripes. We've done genuinely hundreds of hours of this shit now. And I immediately was like, wait a fucking minute. Wait a gibbly goddamn skip-scop ass frimbledy dimbledy flibba-doop whoop froopa whoosh zentaffle frindubly minute. There's no padding here. Oh my god. Let me end the video before, Stripes accuses me of being a hack, because, I'm making the video longer because I'll make like 6 cents more or something. This chick is just, I have nothing to prove to this stupid Stripes female all the time. We're ending this video, and if you're some kind of Stripes lover in the chat, I want to hear about it. Shut up. Everybody loves Stripes. God. We're probably going to do some kind of like draw stream later where Stripes will draw something. So that'll be interesting. I don't know. Stay tuned. Send me a list that doesn't suck, that I haven't done before.
Well, actually, I'm probably going to need requests then.
Why would she need requests? I thought you could just do what you would normally be doing, and then people can just watch, because it would be me gaming, and then you drawing, in like another window.
Do you want me to work on commissions because I'm not sure what to
Do whatever you want. I'm ending this video. I love you guys. We'll see you soon. Wait a minute. I got something from Eggshell from Australia, and it was super sweet.
I thought they were like only shipping from China now.
Oh my god. Newegg is a site that sells computer parts, Stripes.
Yes.
Okay. Recently, their majority shareholders, as far as I'm concerned, I believe that majority stock or something like that, was bought out by the Chinese. In no way does that mean that all Newegg shit is coming from China, Stripes. And I'm not talking about Newegg the site, I'm talking about Eggshell Brian. It's probably not even the name, and I'm probably fucking it up. It's Eggshell something. Because I know their real name, and I don't want to say their real name on the freaking video, but they sent me something from Australia. It was like an Australian care package with a whole bunch of cute little candies that I'm like too scared to open because I want to put it on a shelf, even though I should eat it, as they implied or intended. Oh my god. So I love you and thank you for that, though. I don't know. Figure out a way for me to thank you properly. Other than that, I hope everybody's having a good day, and we'll see you guys soon. Probably in the stream. Take it easy. And the link will be in the description to the rest of that list. But I run it. Bye.